안녕하세요, 여러분. 저는 티아라예요. 만나서 반갑습니다. Hi, guys. My name's Tiara, and this is going to be my pop culture artifact for Professor Drury's pop culture class. And obviously, I am doing a video, and this video is going to be about my exploration of learning Korean as well as Korean culture. And so, thank you so much for kind of sticking with me as we go through this. And so, first, I'll just kind of give a little overview on how I started learning Korean and what kind of led me here. So I first started getting interested in Korea when my brother was stationed over there. I think in maybe 2017 or 2018. He was over there for a little over a year, and so he would always, share his stories with me and of all like the places he got to go and how good and delicious the food was. And then a little after that, I started kind of watching the dramas and getting into those, and then it just kind of slowly evolved from there. And then I was like, oh well, it'd be kind of cool just to learn, Hangul, the Korean alphabet. And then so I learned that, and I was like, okay, well, now I'll just kind of get a little further into it. And then it started with me just learning the language full on. And so I'll kind of go into a little bit of that on what I'm doing at the end on how I'm learning Korean. But one of the biggest things I think that helps with learning Korean is actually learning the culture as well. It really helps you understand the languages and the nuances that you see within the language just as much as just learning the language. And so learning, Korean culture in itself, I have done actual classes through PSU. I've taken learning Korean through music, which was really, really fun. So I got to learn about Arirang and the Gukka, which is the national anthem of Korea. And the Arirang is a really just ancient, memorable song for Korea that just has a lot of history behind it. And I got to learn, the birth of, what led to now being K-pop, so how, rock was started and all of that. And so that was really neat to get to learn. This summer, I'm taking another course through the college, which is just the actual general history of Korea, which just doing through courses and stuff and like my own studies, I have learned a lot about Korean culture, but I'm really looking forward to having a very structured piece through actual classes. So that will be really fun to do. And then there's also, other cultural facts too regarding K-pop and music and food. Food is one of my favorite things about Korea. Their food is so delicious. And I just love getting to go to all of like the Korean restaurants I can find and just trying new dishes. Portland has lots of really good authentic places, and I really love when I get to come up there and try all of those places. One of my favorite candies is this little candy here. It is Seogyeom Dalkyeom, and I was hooked when my brother sent me these. And you can order these through Amazon, but they come in like a pack, and you can't specifically just order the blueberry or lemon ones, which are my favorites. And so I went to the UK this last fall, and of all the random weird places, I just found one of these in one of their convenience stores. And so I kind of looked like a crazy person because I bought all that they had on display, and the person was like, sure, like it was really funny, but these are so delicious. And so when I do go to Korea, which I'm planning to go for the first time next spring, I'm going to be the same thing. I'm just going to buy them all. And so I'm really looking forward to that. But food is a big thing, and they have a big history with that as well. Some of the other reasons that I like Korea itself, of course, the dramas, they are just so excellently done, and I was really kind of hooked through those. And so I think that's kind of what started me on, like, maybe I should just learn Korean because I can't eat and watch the dramas at the same time. It's really hard. And so I think that being able to actually at least understand a little bit so you can kind of like do a little bit of multitasking is helpful. And then some of the resources that I use, I think that using, good resources as well as, accurate resources are really important. And so I have lots of different resources to keep it interesting, because if any of you, we've all taken tests, we all know that studying can get monotonous. And so this isn't something that I just want to, get bored of. And so I have lots of different studying tactics that I use, some of which are just good old fashioned flashcards. I'm kind of old school. I know there's Quizlet and all those fun things online, but there's just something about the satisfaction of writing it down that I really like. I have a Korean English dictionary. I think that comes in handy a lot. This one is into categories, and it's just really helpful when you are, just basic learning, because that's how it starts. It's just the basic stuff is really helpful for that. At Powell's Books, I found this really cool folktale book. And what's really unique about this is it's in both Korean and English, except it also has, the Korean part here and then the English part here. But then on the back, it breaks it down by vocabulary, and then it goes into why this story is important in Korea, and the actual cultural piece behind why this story was made. And so it just comes with a really cool just overall knowledge of the Korean language, and in learning it too in a nice way. And then I have a fun coloring book. Like I said, I just have lots of different methods to not get bored with it. And it's kind of also broken up into categories. And so when I'm bored, I will just kind of, color these pictures and just look at and study it that way. Another one that I recently got, I haven't actually started it yet, is Korean cursive. That is a feat all in itself. All the signs, they're fancily written and they have their cursive everywhere, and I'll just look at it and be like, what does that even say? I can't even distinguish it. And so that's on my to-do list, is to kind of learn how some of the shapes that they have, turn into what they do, because that cursive is really hard. Some of the actual scholarly learning sources I use Papago, which is one of the most reliable and actually correct learning services. So I have the Papago app, and I also use something called Hanji, and Hanji has been a godsend. And so I don't know who created this app, but 정말 감사합니다. Thank you so much, because it has been a game changer. Hanji itself, you will put a Korean word in, and there are, different endings for all of the Korean words itself. So, there's present tense, future tense, past tense, and so many more. And so it will tell you how to properly conjugate those, which is one of the hardest parts of learning Korean, is because there's all these special rules. And so Hanji really will break it down for you in those aspects, and it's such a game changer. And so that really, really, really has helped me learn Korean and be able to properly, use those endings appropriately. And so I cannot recommend Hanji enough. I also use YouTube. TikTok has, lots and lots of options, but there's definitely a few on there who do teach very, very well. They might not be, super scholarly level, which I do recommend, learning the proper way to learn Korean versus, just what you kind of see from here and there. Being able to have it explained to you in a correct way is really important. And then I also have a personal tutor that I use through Preply. I'm going to gatekeep him because I don't want his slots to fill up, but he's absolutely wonderful. And I see him twice a week usually, and I am going through and learning, actually learning step by step. And so I'm using the Korean textbook, and it's a very structured lesson there. And so that's kind of how I really learn Korean. And then I haven't gone into any learning other actual apps of the Hi Locals or anything where you can, just talk with somebody else who speaks Korean. I don't think I'm quite to that level yet. But I do impress myself sometimes. I'll come across something and I'll just be listening. I was like, oh, I actually understood a decent amount of that. And so that's always kind of fun to do. I think that, when we are learning any language, it doesn't matter what language it is, that learning the culture behind the language is also very important, because we can't just focus on, the language itself, because it's built off of the actions that come with that. And so just being very, culturally competent and respectful is very, very important to me, and is one of the biggest reasons I wanted to learn Korean properly, is because, in Asian culture, and specifically, Korean culture, being respectful is huge. And so I don't want to get on the wrong foot when I go over there or anything. And so being just, really culturally competent is really important, in my opinion. And so learning about the culture and in learning the language is really important. And so thank you guys so much for kind of sticking with me along this little journey there. And I just want to send a message to anybody who is learning any language at all. It doesn't matter which one it is. It does get better, I promise. I sometimes will remember learning new grammar, and I'm like, this is too much. I can't do this. This is just too hard. And then, a couple weeks go by, and I finally, get the hang of it. And then it'll come up in lessons or something. I was like, oh, that actually, I can do this. And so it definitely builds on itself. I know sometimes it seems impossible, but getting a good teacher and just being really diligent is all you need. And so it was nice to meet everybody. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the summer.